So, welcome to the Paul Cervizzi Show. I am honored to have Dr. Rosy Sandhu here on set today. What a amazing background that you have, and one of the most fascinating people that I've met. Entrepreneurial spirit times 10, and let's dive right in. So, welcome.
Thank you, Paul. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you. So you are, and I said this about a couple of other people on the show, I call you serial entrepreneur or entrepreneur on steroids, but you're a medical doctor, correct?
Yes.
So how do, I guess we're going to go right into it.
Yes,
How does
and I guess the term these days is doctorpreneur.
Doctorpreneur, I like
Yes,
that.
yes,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. You are a doctorpreneur. Okay. So, what I've really tried to get out to people is that back when I was growing up, you had this roadmap made for you by your parents and generation is, you go to grammar school, you go to high school, you go to college, then if you go to grad school or you go somewhere else, then you get the job, you stay in the job for the rest of your life, you get married, you have a kid, and blah, 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 the white picket fence, and then you retire, collect your pension, and then you die, right? So that's basically how it was, right? And what I am so fascinated with is speaking with people like yourself that have essentially broken that mold, right? And being a doctorpreneur, at one point, you were, full practicing physician, correct?
Clinical physician, yes.
Clinical
Yes.
physician. So right now you have several what we would call med spas, or however you want to use the term. Tell us a little bit about what's going on now
Yeah.
with you.
So yes, you're right about the path that's presented to us. And my background, of course, I was born in India. And one thing about Indian parents, if you've not heard already, is the minute I would say the child is born, the future or destiny is almost written. And the choices we are given are, if the parent wants to be very liberal and open-minded, is, would you want to be a doctor or an engineer?
Oh, that's it.
And that's it. And then I guess if you're lucky, maybe a lawyer.
Okay.
So those are really the career choices. And I was no different. When I was in my teen years, I enjoyed really journalism and writing and poetry writing. And I remember going to my father and saying to him that, Dad, I think I want to be a journalist. And I was a very bright student. And my dad said to me that, Rosy, I think, how about we start with medicine and become a doctor? And once you are a doctor, you'll have all this free time. So you do what you want to do. And
Smart
be a
man.
journalist.
Smart man.
So yes, so I decided, I followed his advice because, of course, you respect your parents. And I didn't have the heart or the courage at that time to say no. And to be honest and fair to him, I really enjoyed biology as well. So chose to be a doctor. Fast forward some 20 years, I was working at Melrose Wakefield Hospital as a full-time acute care hospital medicine physician, which I truly enjoyed. And I did that exclusively for about 5 to 6 years.
Wow.
And I would say, if I may, that I was a strong clinician, really did a lot of ICU, telefloors, acute care medicine, which I thrived on and enjoyed. But something inside me needed to pivot. And I think it was retrospectively, I can see that gradual shift very palpably. And I can almost put my finger on exactly the moment I decided to pivot.
Okay, so right before you,
Yes.
so hold that thought for 1 second, because I call that the black belt switch. Like, when
Okay.
did you get that switch? So you were born in India.
Yes.
How long did you live in India?
So my story was, again, a little convoluted. I have a majority part of my family is in the California Bay Area. So
Oh, okay.
as a teenager, when I was 15 years old, I came to the US to go to high school.
Oh, okay.
My parents, especially my father, was a judge back in India. He had a very comfortable life.
He was a judge?
He was a judge. So my family's in law. My older sister, we had two siblings. She was a lawyer and did an MBA in India.
Oh my gosh.
Chose to came to US. I'm the odd one out. Nobody else is in medicine.
Medicine and law now.
Yes.
Okay.
So they said that, if you like to talk too much, you go in law, and if you are more cerebral, you become a doctor. I was a little bit of
A
both.
little bit of both. Yeah.
So I chose to be me. And so yes, at 15, I came to US, went to high school. In fact, I completed my junior year and was just a senior when my dad started, his health started deteriorating, and I chose to go back to spend some time with him.
To India.
He was 52 when sadly he passed away.
Ooh.
I was 17 years old, and his dream was that I go to med school, and I chose to fulfill his dream and go to med school.
I think that he had the right advice, and you followed the right path, especially where you were. So you went to med school.
Yes.
And then in the U.S.
No, so I went to med school because I wanted to be with him.
Oh, okay.
So I did my junior high and then went to med school in India.
Oh, okay.
And I had life is unpredictable. I had kind of given up. High school, by the way, in US is terrible.
Terrible.
It is terrible.
Why? Because there's a
the
big...
social circle scene of it. It was tough being, growing up in India, moving to US. I stayed with my uncle's family, my dad's younger brother.
California?
In California. He had two boys
Okay.
who were a couple years younger than me, and they pretty much had me do all their homework, and which I didn't mind. I was a good student.
They got all A's. Yeah.
Everybody got all A's.
Everybody got A's.
And that part was nice, but it was just, of course, a big culture shift for me. And being, high school, even if you were born in the U.S., is probably emotionally a time of life when we're going through adolescence and just figuring out who we are.
Yeah.
And now put in the middle of all of this, a truly different culture, a different country, not being with your parents, where I was like a spoiled teenager, and I would be doing homework for my cousins. So, but I made the best of what I could. The good thing is the teachers loved me.
How could they not? But do you see, so when you say like, so what was your experience of the differences from the high school experience?
I think the friendship circles probably, because it was hard. When it came to just the curriculum and the education, because of studying in the Indian system, which is actually truly very hard. Because imagine you have, billions of students, I guess, and you have to thrive and survive. So the education system in India is very rigorous. So when I came to US,
rigorous, yeah.
Yes, really hard. So this was a walk in the park to me, at least at the school level. I'm sure further on, once you go into college and university, things are different. But at the high school level, the subject matter was
too
very
easy
easy
for
for
you.
me. I was lucky that I just had no problem switching over. And in fact, I graduated classes pretty quickly and did well. But it was more the social scene and figuring out how to be part of the friend groups, which I was, again, luckily I was able to make a few really good friends. And I truly believe, and I tell our 14-year-old daughter the same, that you really need your one person to make it through high school. And we all want to be part of these big friend groups. But in the end, if you have one person that you can really gel with, I think life is good.
It's so interesting because people in the U.S., I think, would go and say, well, when you get older, the circle gets smaller and smaller. You're saying that even from the beginning,
I believe
small.
I do believe that it's good to have a network around us.
Network, yeah.
So for sure. But we don't always need to be fully present and be part of that network all the time. I think it's good to have almost like a small group that we can call our people.
You need
and
your
then
tribe,
we
right?
need
You
a
need your tribe.
But generally speaking, give especially high school and how busy we are, if we have our one or two close friends who are just there for you when you need, I do think you can have at least I was able to have a beautiful high school experience through
Experience.
that.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
I agree with
Yes.
you so much. And even now, obviously, I agree with you, is that you need, like, we all can network, we all can
Yes.
have acquaintances, but to me, in life, you need, as you just stated, that one, two, three people that, you can pick up the phone
Yeah.
when things aren't going well. Everybody can be your friend or your, you know, bestie during good times, but what happens when you really need them? I couldn't agree with you
Those
more.
are your people.
I couldn't, yeah, you need your people. All right, so you get through that, you go to medical school.
Yes. So I went back.
You went back with
yes,
Dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I went to med school, so med school in India is about 5.5 years. So I did that, and I was on my trajectory that, okay, I'm gonna thrive through med school. My father had my life, just like you said, planned out,
Yep.
that I'm going to go through it, meet, or in India, have that arranged marriage, which I was a rebel from the beginning. I knew
rebel.
that nobody is going to find my guy. I will figure that piece out and get married, work or have my own practice and then live life. But life throws curveballs at us.
Curveballs, yeah.
And my sister, who's also at that time and always has been my best friend, she moved to the US. And just around that time, as I was saying, my father also, dad, I was very close to, passed away. So I found myself a little isolated and unsure where I wanted to be. And then my sister said that, why don't you just come back to US, do your residency, and then decide where you wanted life to be. And I had, those years are interesting. And I had just gone through a couple of relationships where I was like, I need a fresh start. I just need a change.
Yeah.
So US made a lot of sense. So I decided, I took my USMLEs, which are these exams we take to get through to a university. And being the nerd that I was, I aced through them again.
Oh,
and
I'm
then
sure. Oh, boy.
which is embarrassing at some point to say, but then I enjoy reading. I'm a good test taker. I wouldn't say, not necessarily am I the smartest, but I'm good at taking a test.
Yeah, and so many people aren't, and I was horrible. Standardized tests, regular, like I could
Those,
love to
yes.
write, but
Yeah.
when you get these,
The multiple choice
yeah,
questions,
no,
and every answer seems like it's the same. should
Yeah,
be
that was on the
right
bar
one.
exam. It was
Yes.
crazy. It's like every single, like you could rule out one answer,
Yes.
and then you have three left, and they're literally
All the
almost
same.
identical,
Yes.
right?
No,
Yeah,
that
but
is
you're good
true.
at picking out the.
I am good at just fine tuning and teasing things
yeah,
out.
that's good.
So then I came to US and went to upstate New York, got a residency position at Rochester General Hospital in upstate New York. And if I were to just say that the subsequent 3 years of internship and then residency were probably the best years of my life. I
Really?
enjoyed it so
What the heck is
much.
there to do in upstate New York but work?
Believe it or not, it's the people. I met some of the nicest people. I met Sagar, who I ended up getting married to. He was my attending when I was an intern.
Oh.
And the friendships that the interesting thing is that when you get into a residency program, there are almost 20 of us from all over the
How
world.
many?
20 residents
20.
in one class.
Okay.
And everybody's from different parts of the world, some Americans and some from just everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's almost I'm sure you've watched Grey's Anatomy.
Oh,
and
please, my daughter. That's like
yes.
she binge watches that and she's in her 20s, and I
Yes.
sit there when she comes home and we watch. Oh yeah, favorite show.
Yeah, I love it as well. But some of it, of course, is exaggerated.
Yeah.
But truly, an intern's life is that you eat when you can, you sleep when you can, you get to the bathroom when you can, because you're just cheap labor, essentially.
I
But
don't know
it
how
is,
you do it. I don't know how they do it. You do it.
I
They do it.
think,
People do it. It's like boot camp.
it's almost like survival mode that you're taught to just operate on no sleep,
No
no
sleep,
food.
no food.
Yeah.
Can I? I'm glad you brought this up.
Yes.
And I get it to a point, especially with the military.
Things are changing though.
Are they? All right. So what is? And I get the underlying reasoning. Like I can make the argument for it, but why?
Yeah.
Why do you have to work, 20-hour shifts? Why?
Yes, no, and I think even the accreditation boards understand that now. So that doesn't happen anymore. So when I was an intern back in the day, this is like 2007 that we are talking about. We used to have 36-hour shifts when you're supposed to be just awake for 36 hours.
36?
Yes, I've done 36-hour shifts where you're just going, and even at the end of your 36-hour shifts, we have our ICU rounds when you're supposed to round patient by patient and know exactly what was the overnight urine output, potassium level, calcium level, and just remember this. So it's a lot. It teaches you about life and discipline and how to just
But
work in every condition. But yes, people do understand that it's not healthy. It's actually not even good for patient
well,
care.
that's what I was gonna say. I'm thinking liability
yes.
on the legal
Yeah.
side, right? The brain is like, how can you make those life and death decisions when you're so sleep deprived?
So in the hospital setting, the way it usually would be is that you're not the only, thankfully, you're not the only layer.
Yep.
So there's definitely layers to how the system runs. So you have an intern, then you have your junior resident, your senior resident, the attending, hopefully the charge nurse, the pharmacist, and everybody. But that's the training process. Once you're an attending, you're not required to work more than 12 hours at a time, which is also,
Oh, gee,
I have done
that-
many 12-hour shifts, but that's the life of a doctor.
Where did you get this grit? Where did you get this, drive to? It sounds like you thrive. You thrive on this. You thrive on the. I mean, obviously, you're very bright. Your family's, you were born into that, but. Was it your father? Was
I
it
would
your
say-
parents? Your siblings? I mean, like internally, environmental. Where do
I think
like
it's
where do you,
very individualistic. I think it's just the way we are. I think I am wired that way because, and if I have to put it on any genetics, I would say my dad. I do think that I take it from my dad because my memories of him. We had an interesting childhood with abundance and then completely polar opposite shifts where so much health havoc, and because of his health he had to kind of give up his job which he loved, and all kinds of things happened. But one thing that I saw as a child in my impressionable years was that even the grit, like never giving up no matter what comes. Like even when he was on dialysis, he was signing his charts and whatever the judgment
Yeah.
etc. And he would just not give up.
And he
my
probably didn't
dad
complain,
was my
right?
hero. He wouldn't.
no?
And so some of that is that, but even in the family, I would say I'm different than my own sister who was raised in the same household. And even although she is very hardworking as well, but that I think that growth mindset is probably something we are born with. And some of it is, of course, some of it is nature, some of it is nurture, which I learned from my dad.
Right, from your dad. Yeah, we seem to really, it's interesting because, like, when we talk about mentors and people that have influenced us in our lives, a lot of, I would say 90% of the people that I talk with go back to a
Childhood,
parent,
yes.
go back to childhood, right? And obviously, we're all dealt different cards. There's some people, unfortunately, that weren't given the opportunities that you and I have been given. And it's interesting to see how that changes. But there's always someone in someone's life that helps them propel. All right, so you do this. We're in upstate New York.
So Rochester, New York.
Rochester,
So
okay.
finished my residency
What's
there.
in Rochester?
So other than Rochester is actually beautiful. I think the first thing that I fell in Rochester, if you want to really know,
Yeah.
was the Wegmans. You have to just take a drive to Rochester, New York,
Yep.
and go to it's Pittsford, and the Wegmans at Pittsford is almost like a tourist destination in my eyes. Like it is the most incredibly beautiful grocery store I, as a 22-year-old that I was, had ever seen in my life, and
Oh
I
my
was like,
gosh, that's
I
so
will never
ironic.
leave.
Really?
Yes, and then the Finger Lakes, and I think it was the people, the community. So what I was saying was there's 20 of us,
20 of you.
and all of us commiserate together. So the team bonding, truly, that's where I learned how to trust.
To trust?
How to trust people, because we all had each other's back, because we were all poor. We all had no money. As an intern, as a resident, we make, I think, about 40,000 a year, and that's the salary you live on.
And you work hundreds and
you
hundreds and
work
hundreds
The
of
good
hours.
thing is you have no time to shop or think about it anyways. But so I remember my best memories were there would be 6 or 7 of us. We would have one car. Everybody on Sunday would
Jump.
get together to Walmart. And I still remember we bought like this on sale for some $20. There were some 40, water glasses.
Oh,
and
yeah,
we
yeah.
all bought them, and then we split them. And until like a few years ago, we all had 1 or 2 of them at our houses still.
Oh, that's
So it is,
awesome.
the love and the camaraderie and the community that you form is just priceless.
Do you ever stay in touch with any of those
We are
people?
all in touch, and we have a group.
Do you have a group
yes,
chat?
So we chat, and it would be great to get together as well. But life.
It's hard. People are probably,
People are just
families
all
and everybody's
over.
all over the
Yes,
world
but
and
still
everything.
the love is there. I'm pretty sure that if somebody truly needed anything
You
seriously,
could just
we will be on
pick.
the next flight.
Isn't that awesome?
Yes. Yes.
And I guarantee you,
We'll pick
the
up right where we
relationship
left.
exactly right. It's like nothing changes,
Nothing
and
changes.
that's the tribe. I agree
Yes.
with you. All right, so where do you go after upstate New York?
Then, so from upstate, graduated, and the next move was Boston. After that, 2010, we moved to Boston. Because my husband Sagar had a fellowship, a kidney fellowship at Mass General Brigham. So I wanted to go to the Bay Area in California. Imagine. But then he said that how about we just do 4 years of my fellowship in Boston. All I ask for you is 4 years, and
Smart
then
man.
it's California.
Smart man.
And I'm
You're
waiting
still
for
in-
those 4 years to be over.
I don't know at this
Yes,
point. I don't
yes,
know.
no.
So you come to the medical
Yes,
hub, right?
yes.
The medical and educational
Absolutely.
hub, and then what do you do here?
Then I just fall in love with Boston.
Boston,
Yes,
yeah.
because there's something, despite the crazy winter that you and I were talking about,
Yes.
how much we suffered through the cold, harsh cold this year. But there's something about the intellect in the air here, the people that we talk about it at home sometimes, that, if we wanted to do this thing called life again, and it could settle anywhere in the world, like which is your favorite city in the world? And we've been lucky and fortunate enough to travel worldwide a lot.
Yeah.
And while I have loved London and Paris and Barcelona and Madrid, and anytime I think about it, I feel that I love nowhere as much as I love Boston.
Yeah,
and I would
it's
just
so-
be back in Boston.
It's so diverse and has so many
Yes.
different things. And I
There's
agree with you. You go to visit different countries, different cities, and you love it because either the weather is warmer or, they got these attractions, and it's nice to go visit. And I think the optimal thing is like what you and I were speaking about earlier is if you have the opportunity to maybe do a few months
Yes,
here and a few
yes.
months there, and we'll get into that.
Naples.
All right. So you're in Boston,
Yes.
you're working where?
So yes, so when I finished my residency, I did like a last month elective at Tufts University. Finished
Boston?
In Boston, because I wanted to explore. My last month was in the gastroenterology division. At that time, I was thinking about going into GI
Oh,
and
okay.
becoming a GI specialist, which I'm glad I did, because very quickly I realized it wasn't for me. I wanted more clinical side. It was a lot procedure heavy, doing a lot of endoscopies, colonoscopies, and I wasn't a life I wanted for myself. So
But you said something, I'm so
yes,
sorry to
yeah,
interrupt you. You said something which is really, really interesting. I'm glad I did it because then I knew that I didn't want to do it. And I think so many people today don't make that
yes.
leap. What is it about you? And again, you're a woman of, right now, you're the grit woman I'm listening to. What is it about that fact that some of us can say, hey, I'll try that, and I'm glad I did because it wasn't, versus, oh no,
Yeah.
that's
Not even trying.
uncomfortable, because that seems to resonate too. Is a lot of us, people in general, we like to be comfortable,
Yes.
right? Comfortable is familiar, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then there's others, which I know you're that way, and I am also that.
We love
I don't.
misery.
I want. Yeah, we love misery. We uncomfortable is where the growth happens. So, do you think that still goes back to your father, or do you
No,
see
I think that's a personal thing.
personal thing?
Yes, and I believe so. I'll unpack your question in two parts.
Yes.
So, where grit comes from, I think, and where this almost like invitation or drive to go where there's discomfort
Yes.
is, I think it's growth. Because I think for me, if you ask me what, and my family asked me this question, that what is it, Rosie? Like, what are you going towards? Why open another location or do this or do a podcast? Like, is there a number, a dollar amount that I have in my mind?
No.
But I think it's really the growth. Like, I value, and the purpose is growth. Like, I feel there is something inherent, which is probably a personality trait that some people have, where, and the emotion that stops us from pursuing it is fear. And I think once, like, fear doesn't really bother me. It almost is my sign that, okay, I am afraid many a times what will happen, but I feel like I do it anyways, despite
Yeah,
the
I
fear.
feel that about you also. And it's funny, you mentioned the word fear. I had a very famous five-time world kickboxing champion on as one of my guests early on. Her name is Kathy Long. And the one thing that she kept on stressing, like when she'd prepare for a fight, was that fear was her motivator. And that really took me back to go, whoa, fear is your motivator, because most people retreat from fear. And she said she embraced fear. You kind of feel the same way, right? You're not
I wouldn't say that I am bold enough to want to go and embrace it.
right. Yeah,
But
she is
so
a
she's
tough.
a fighter.
You got to look her up.
No, I am. I would say that if anything, by nature, people who know me know that I am actually a peaceful person.
Oh, yeah,
Not
yeah.
just
No,
that
I
way,
wasn't talking about
but
that.
also, no. When I say peaceful, maybe non-confrontational.
Non-confrontational.
So if anything, and that's my area where I still have growth to do, because I feel many a times I stay a little stuck in situations where I need to break the barrier goes just because I don't like to confront.
You're too
sooner.
nice.
I'm
I
a little
found you too nice.
Yes, I agree with that, and that's the
All right, so you
little
work
growth
on
I
that.
still have to do.
All right.
But other than that, I do think when it comes to taking a chance and maybe getting out of my comfort zone, knowing that there's no guarantees, I do believe that in life, I do want to shatter the glass ceiling.
I love
if
it.
I do want, what my aspiration would be to not leave. I want to be spent at the end of my life, that I just lived it. I did everything. I thought I'll reach here, and I reached and went beyond. And so what comes after?
What comes after? So
Yes.
you're never satisfied.
I am satisfied with what I have, but I do want what's next.
Yeah, I
Yes,
like that
so,
analogy
yeah.
about shattering the glass, though. That's really interesting. And then you mentioned purpose, and I'm a huge purpose guy. And I feel badly sometimes. There's so many people out there that are just going around in circles that I talk to, and I'm like, do something. Like you said, it doesn't have to be about the money. It's what's what you're doing needs to have purpose, right? Or you need a purpose because there's nothing, we have so many opportunities around us that we're afraid to seize, we're afraid to take that risk, and we stay in that comfort zone, right? And when you have purpose, I really believe that that's a catapult for happiness, longevity, and whatever,
Oh, everything.
right? All right, so
I would say to that point, I talk about ikigai a lot. So these days I'm listening to a lot of these Japanese ways of life.
yeah,
And one of the things that they talk about is this concept called ikigai, which
what is it called?
ikigai. So it's Ikigai, and that means their way of life.
Way of life.
So ikigai is, imagine those three circles,
Yep.
which one is your passion, your profession, and your purpose, and where they intersect. That is your ikigai, your reason to get out of bed in the morning. So, and very early on, like I realized the reason also, I guess it's easy to keep going is because some people become fortunate to have their passion, purpose, and profession align, which I have found. And once it does, because your passion is what you're good at and what you enjoy to do. Your profession is what you do or what you get paid to do. And your purpose is what the world needs or
I
what
love
service
that.
can you do.
I love that.
And when they can all align, I think magic happens there.
Alignment, right? Have you ever, I don't know if I mentioned this to you before, but have you ever seen that series, The Blue Zone? Did we talk about that?
We did not, but I did watch some of it on Netflix,
It's
and of course,
it's exactly, yeah, what's the first,
Yes.
Okinawa is the
Okinawa,
first one, right?
yes.
But it
Yeah,
has
I've
different,
been eating a lot of the purple sweet
yeah,
potatoes.
exactly. And you know, it's exactly what you just said. There's, so the Blue Zone is about the areas of the world that has the largest number
Maximum
of
centenarians.
right.
Yes.
And it's everything that we're talking about. And I won't give it away for people that haven't seen it. And I encourage you to finish it because it's everything that we're talking about from purpose and tribe and life and everything. So
No, I do believe in that, and that is probably the reason. I know you're going to make me go back to the hospital days, but that's the reason I pivoted. That was the aha moment.
all right,
when
so
I
let's get to the
let's
switch
there.
then. All right,
Yes.
I'll call it the black belt switch, and you call it the pivot and the
Yes.
aha moment. So where were you when this aha moment occurred? Like
Yeah.
in your life, where were you?
So I was I was in Boston. I
Yep.
was working as a hospital medical physician, so an acute care hospitalist position in Melrose Wakefield Hospital. So, and I was also at that time a young mom with a
Oh, yeah, yeah.
1-year-old.
Oh boy,
Yes, so I had a lot of free
that's a
time
full-time
on my
job.
hands.
Yeah, you had a
Yes, a lot of free time. But so working as this acute care physician at Melrose Wakefield Hospital, what I did was I did that for about 5 years full time, and I saw people probably at the worst times of their life. I saw a lot of crisis. I saved, thankfully, a lot of lives.
Yep.
I took care of patients with pneumonias, with heart failure, respiratory failure, gave people diagnoses of fatal cancers at times. So I tended to them in their crisis times. And what stayed with me was really the look of resignation in their eyes many a times.
the look of what?
Resignation in these
Resignation.
people's eyes. And it was more than just remembering their lab values. What I remembered was just this chronic illness and chronic disease. And, when you work in the hospital in this setting, there are some patients that we in the emergency room areas, we call them frequent flyers.
Frequent flyers. Yep.
And our frequent flyers are our very dear patients who just unfortunately have these chronic illnesses, are not in the best of health. And we would take care of them, make them better, discharge them home, and they come back, and it's almost like that revolving
Repeat
door.
the cycle. Yep.
Yes. So there was this one particular woman, and I have always called her Sheila for anonymity. And Sheila is very dear to me. I will never forget her, and she probably is the reason why I am even here today and Neem happened. And Sheila was a woman who was in her mid 50s, and she had a condition we call diabetic ketoacidosis. Now, diabetic ketoacidosis can be a fatal complication of diabetes.
Got it.
And patients, when they get that, you get almost like comatose.
Oof.
It is you're frequently in a coma, you can't talk, you have to be rushed to an ICU. And we treat these patients by giving them tons of IV fluids, intravenous insulin, and education, make them better. So I happened to do a lot of nights because Ria was my daughter. Ria. At that time, she was 1 year old. So I found it a little bit easier. We had like our parents who helped us with childcare at that time.
Yeah.
And then I would work 12-hour night shifts. And
that's your residency.
That's my residency. So, and come back and, take care of her. So in many of these ICU nights that I did, I happened to take care of Sheila quite a few times. And it was almost like on a monthly basis that I would give her fluids, give her IV insulin, get her awake, healthy, educate, and send her home. And one of these times when I was admitting Sheila, I asked her that, what is this? Even I got frustrated. I was like, what is this? Like, why do you miss your insulin? Typically, this happens when a patient misses
not taking the medication.
And she was a smart woman, and I was like, why are you doing this? And what Sheila said to me forever changed me. She said that I feel invisible.
I feel invisible.
She felt invisible. So she was overweight. She said that I feel invisible in my marriage. I feel invisible in life. And I just feel I don't care. And she just did not, it's not that she didn't have the education. She did not feel worthy to be healthy or take care of herself.
Oh, boy.
And that, of course, in the night, I'm sure I didn't think about it. We got her better, discharged her, but that stayed with me for a while and prompted these tough questions that what if chronic illness could be actually changed if people got confidence again? Confidence again. What if feeling seen is medicine? And what if there was something beyond just giving people medicine that we could do that gave more impact to chronic illness? Because I realized that chronic illness was not just a metabolic problem. It is an emotional one. It is an intellectual one. And it is tied to our self-worth and tied to our perception of who we are.
Black belt mindset.
And that is when Neem was born.
So, all right, we're going to get into Neem, but that's definitely an aha moment. And I think it's resonating with people more and more today as we seek alternative treatments. And again, you're an MD, and I'm a huge proponent of traditional medicine, saving people's lives and making them more comfortable the traditional way, but at the same time, exploring different ways. Now I think even physicians are becoming more receptive. Like, if you can find that, I have a friend of mine that she's really into magnetic energy and healing on animals and whatever, and it works. And to discount that would be almost a little bit, too, like, yeah, poof, that's not real medicine. So I agree with you from the emotional part, the intellect part, like you said, and it really comes down to a mindset of making people feel that they can, right? And and you use the word confidence, and it's empowerment, it's confidence, and invisible. I mean, that's tragic. That someone felt that way. It sounds like, was she like in her 30s, 40s? How old was she?
She was 54.
54. So she was young, and you're invisible in life.
She's not alone though. Like, having worked at Neem Medical Spa, my current practice, I would say I see this every single day.
All right, so let's jump into it because we're thropping at the bit. Neem. What does Neem stand for? Where did you get the name Neem? What is Neem?
So Neem is actually a tree. It's an evergreen Southeast Asian tree that was even in growing up in my backyard, which grows, and it's almost like a medicinal tree where every part of the tree is used for some health condition or the
Back to
other.
the blue zone. Yep. Yeah.
Yes. So in fact, my grandma, it's not a very, I would say, tasteful tree though, because it's bitter. The neem
Oh, you
leaf
can
is,
eat part of
you
it?
can. So the neem leaf, you can make
It's a
toothpaste out of
leaf.
it. People actually make a little juice out of it, use it for diabetes. I joke that it is so bitter that of course you don't want to eat anything.
You don't want to eat anything that's bad
after.
for you, right?
But it's you can use neem extract for acne, eczema as an insect repellent. So pretty much like when I was thinking of a name for my practice, when I wanted to do something with skincare, overall preventative health, neem was almost like
That was like a given. It
like
was
a
right
given.
there. So
Had to
neem
be.
is born.
Yes.
Now, do you call it, and please forgive me,
Yes.
is it like, what is neem? Is it a med spa? Is it
Yeah, so we call it Neem Medical Spa.
Neem Medical
so
Spa?
it is, I would say it is the place where confidence is born.
I
so
love
we
it.
do everything skincare, metabolic reset, weight loss, hormone balancing, longevity medicine, and all.
So it's not just like, you
it's
know,
not Botox and
go in
fillers.
and just
Yes.
make your skin look good.
No, it's
You kind of, I call it go under the hood. So
Yeah.
tell me, so how many locations do you have? You're more than one, I know.
Right. So we are 4 locations
Four.
right now.
Where
We're
are
in
they?
Boston, Winchester, Linfield, and our newest one is Salem, New Hampshire at the Tuscan Village.
Yes, Tuscan
My
Village.
pride and
Everybody
joy.
talks about Tuscan Village. I've never been. I have to go. I
have
heard
to
it's
come.
like got
We
a
gotta
little-
bring you there.
There you go.
Yes,
Okay. So Neem times 4. At one point, you and I would talk. You were still with these multiple and I think you had another location before too, like in Somerville, right?
Yes, yes. So Somerville was in fact the original parent location
Okay.
in the Assembly Square area.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was
but
built up.
we were in this building. If you see there's a Lincoln Tech School.
Oh, I know you mean. Yeah.
But with all the, Assembly Square, as you know, just metamorphosized.
Oh my God,
completely.
that's like a village in and of itself,
Yes.
right?
So there was so much construction around our building that it just became almost
Too much.
impossible to work there.
Yep.
So when my lease was over, once again, I pivoted and moved to Boston.
I think the pivot is huge. It's like it's a term that resonates with all entrepreneurs, I think, is the ability to not get stuck and ability to pivot, change, modify. And it's the same things that we talk about in the
When
martial
life gives
arts,
you
right?
lemons, you make lemonade. Yeah.
100%. All right. So tell me some of the services that you believe, and I know you're going to say all of them, and it is because
Yes.
it's a package, but
Yeah.
where do we get, like, because you had an aha moment and you're an MD, so you're doing a lot more than I would assume.
Our approach is different.
Approach is different. Tell me about how you think the approach at Neem allows one, and you have male and female
Yes.
people, right? Can give them that confidence to feel good about themselves, treat maybe a medical condition, or even if it's not a medical condition, you got a huge advantage because you're a doctor. But just feeling good about yourself makes you,
Absolutely. I would say, so yes, you're right. Neem was never about just lasers or Botox or skin. It was almost like the whole approach and the reason for Neem to even exist was to change the way a person, especially in the beginning, a woman walks into the room. Because and even for a man, I would say most of us, when generally speaking, what I've noticed is that, especially for men, believe it or not, and even for a lot of women, their first interaction with this whole aspect of life where they start focusing on how they look and how they feel is going through some probably a shift in their life, whether that is just
Midlife crisis.
maybe midlife crisis, a divorce, a new relationship starting or changing. But there's generally a life switch where you want to almost like take a hold of life again and feel confident again. So I have God knows how many new relationships Neem has been behind, where patients would say that they felt they were ready to date again because now they felt better about themselves. They felt that, we do this service. In fact, it just reminds me, it's called cool sculpting, which is freezing your fat literally. And you just lose about 2 to 3 inches in that area of subcutaneous fat.
Like your waist?
In wherever we can treat your arms, your submentum, thighs, wherever we have that extra layer of fat. And one thing I had very early on in my career recognized is you do a session of cool sculpting in somebody and they end up losing like 10, 15 pounds. And it's not that the machine is making you lose weight. It is just that little bit of spark somebody needs.
The catalyst, right?
It is that catalyst that you need to once again feel better, and when it's the positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
And it's a ripple effect.
It's a ripple effect.
Because once you do a cool sculpting on somebody,
Then
now
they're gonna
they want to work out, they want to eat better, they want to drink more water, go to the gym, because they want to now protect their investment. And overall, they're more unstoppable in life.
I love it. I love it.
So that is what it is.
Yeah. Do you find that, we'll just say cool sculpting, if they do one service/procedure, do you see them saying, hey, I think I want to try whatever?
Absolutely. So the way of course, as times have evolved, our approach has also evolved. So in the beginning, it was just like, patients or clients would come and they'll say that, okay, I'm interested in A, B, or C service. Now we try to go as a system. So we are at NEEM switching to a protocol system or a system so that we are not just addressing, it's not device-based anymore. It is outcome-based. Because there are so many different devices, so many treatments. People go on our website and they're like, I'm totally lost. I'm more confused than I was when I thought I was confused.
Well, it's the evolution, right?
It is the evolution. So I think my job and my role at this time is really to be the truth teller and a story maker, where I'm almost the coach. So I will tell
you are a coach.
that's really my life. I'm almost like a behavioral, mental health, and
you're a therapist, you got this.
Coach.
Yeah.
So I will just say no where no needs to be. And that's why I think patients retain and stay with us, because I'm not afraid of saying no. And I almost take it as a moral obligation that if somebody doesn't need something, no matter how much they have made up their mind that this is the solution to what bothers them, if it's not right, I will pivot them again and tell them this is not for you, but then we'll create the right plan if we can.
No's a word, right? And we tell our kids no's a good word, right? Good word. So you have people that come in that are convinced that they want X, but for whatever reason, medically, morally, like you said, or whatever, you say no.
Yes, if we have to. Otherwise,
but then you come up with another approach.
Yes, if we can. And many a times it's not something that we can provide. And if they need plastic surgery, we would, or maybe even behavior therapy or cognition therapy, we would just pivot them and actually guide them that, okay, especially many a times I feel if you open social media or TikTok, like every device is supposed to be that miracle device which gives you a non-invasive facelift. And I think my life is about just educating everyone that there is no one magical unicorn device. They just are not FDA approved.
I think I heard you say that on one of your clips recently, right?
That because people say that, okay, here's the software, oral therapy. Is this going to get rid of my jowls? And I wish, and I'm sure sometime in our hopefully soon life, we will have a non-surgical treatment that can just, you wave that magic wand and it gets rid of it. But non-surgically, our goal is here's what I say, with everything we do non-surgically at NEEM Medical Spa or other practices, the goal should be to change the way we are aging. So there are these 3 or 4 peaks of aging. And of course, aging is not a linear decline. We, in our 20s, to have one sharp one towards the end of, between 28 to 30.
Oh, okay.
Then with the second big decline, especially in a woman's life, happens between 38 to 40, and that's when we start perimenopause and start that accelerated aging. So overnight, people feel they have jowls, and it's a true phenomenon. I felt it. And then again, around 44, 45 is your third peak of aging. And then once a woman especially hits menopause, that is when first 5 years we lose 30% of our collagen. So there are definitely these ages or times when the aging is accelerated. So with all the options, the treatments, the procedures we have, the goal is to really plateau and slow down the way we are aging and by building collagen up. And that is the goal, that's the purpose. And yes, we can combine things to eliminate some of the sagging and lift your skin, but other than that, the real purpose is just change the way aging is going to progress. And that
Changing the way.
happens, yeah.
But see, you know that because of your medical
Yes,
background, right? I mean,
absolutely.
and I'm not sure, I'm not a medical professional, but obviously there's hormonal changes, there's things going on in our chemicals in our brain that affect
Bone structure.
bone, right?
Is,
Bone
yes,
density, you know.
yes.
I mean,
And
so
the skeleton is no different. We are not isolated. So when we are, I guess we could touch upon aging, because when we are aging, it's not just all of a sudden the jowl happens, because first of all, the skeletal changes. We start losing bone at the outer edges.
Up
like
top here, like?
Up top here, like we call this the zygoma.
yeah,
Then we lose at the mandibular angle, which is the angle of your jaw, the mandibular
Yeah.
body.
Man-
And then the maxilla, which is the upper bone where teeth are, it goes inward. So what we notice, the eye socket enlarges. So we get hollowed out eyes.
yeah, I can't, you gotta come
Yes.
up with something for me, we've tried a lot.
Work in progress.
Okay.
And then our fat pads are shifting because we have these almost like fibrous anchors called ligaments. And ligaments are these fibrous
Yeah.
anchors which go from the bone to the skin and hold the skin structure together. So as we are aging, bone is resorbing. Then our fat pads descend because the ligaments are getting weak. They're not holding the skin and the fat as well as they used to. So hence we get the jowls. So now imagine how many layers of skin we have to treat to get things back in position. So how could there be that one magical device that can do all of
Or
it?
you can't, like you watch on TV or
Yes,
you
use
see
the
online
screen and it's
that buy
gone.
this and
Yeah.
your skin will look whatever. It sounds like it's a multifaceted, and you said it about alignment and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like you can't just treat one thing. I mean,
You
there's,
have to put it in the right order, because if you just treat one layer of the skin, that's where those distorted faces, where people talk about celebrities looking different all of a sudden because they're a lot of treatment altogether.
yeah,
Focus
some
on
look
one
good,
layer.
but some do not
Some
look
do
good.
not look good.
And you're like, wow,
Yes.
with all that money and fame, you would have thought, right?
Yeah,
But
because
that's,
sometimes all that money actually gives you the resources to do too much at the wrong order. So
but that's where
it's changing though. I
that's-
think even celebrities are recognizing it. And as we see so many celebrities, including like Lindsay Lohan, and people are dissolving old filler and getting to be looking more like themselves. So in fact, because of this, I have in my practice, in our Neem clinics, we follow now a system, I call it my 3F system of well-aging or anti-aging, and everybody who comes to our practice gets a 3F treatment plan.
okay,
And that 3F is foundation, fill, and finish. So I created that. So foundation is, because we try, if somebody comes and says that, you know, doctor, like these lines on my cheeks bother me. We don't just say, okay, let's put some filler in there. We start with everybody goes through the 3F. So foundation is where we take care of everything foundational. So if it's especially a female, let's say, 54, my first question to her would be that, are you in menopause? Because if she is in menopause and if she is not on estrogen, knowing what we know now, the lack of estrogen is what's going to lead to that accelerated loss of collagen. And if we don't address the hormonal status, no matter how many potions and lotions we are going to use,
Mm-hmm.
we are going to be very limited as to what
It's gonna
outcome
come
we can
back,
give
right?
you. Yes,
The foundation is the
is important.
source, right? That's,
Absolutely.
the cause.
That's why we build the foundation before building the house, right?
Right, 100%.
So foundation would be addressing the internal health, if they are smoking, counseling about that, their nutritional status,
Yeah.
their supplements, and then even in treatments that are going to actually build your collagen, like we have these energy-based devices, cell therapy, soft wave, which help with building your collagen
Okay.
levels. So we address with that. Then we go to fill. So fill is that as we are aging, we are losing fat or volume. So if somebody has lost, or forget aging, these days the GLP-1 world.
Oh, we don't have a
Yes.
lot of time, but I want to talk
Okay.
about that
So
next.
then we definitely, if somebody's in that bucket where they've lost 20 pounds, 30 pounds with the GLP-1 and now they're hollowed out, so they may need some hyaluronic acid or biostimulators, which I think we need a separate podcast to just talk about
Yeah,
biostimulators.
God, we got so much to talk about.
Yes.
Can we just, in the limited time that we
Yes.
have left, so everybody, you see commercials 24/7, you see ads on social media 24/7. What is GLP-1? Like, what is that?
Yeah. So glucagon-like peptide 1. So GLP-1
In English
agonist.
now.
In English, okay, yes.
Not in doctor language.
Right.
What is it?
So GLP-1 agonists are these wonderful medications which we are blessed to have in our lifetime. What they do is they make our pancreas produce more, glucagon-like peptide, which makes our body react to insulin better. So what happens is that as we are aging, the biggest metabolic driver, which is this hormone called as insulin, which when we don't produce or when we don't respond to insulin and become insulin resistant, we get a condition called diabetes. And even if we don't get diabetes, as we are aging, our bodies are not responding to insulin like they used to.
So you gain weight.
And we become what's called insulin resistant, and then we are going to gain weight. Even if we eat a little bit, whatever sugar or fat we eat, it's not getting stored in the muscle to be used, because first of all, we're not using our muscles much, but it's circulating in the bloodstream and is getting taken up by fat and being stored. All that glucose gets stored as fat.
Oh, boy.
Because
Okay.
insulin is not, it's there. There's in fact a lot of insulin. There's an excess of insulin, but we are resistant to it.
Got it.
And that's where GLP-1 medications work. So even if you're a non-diabetic, if you take a GLP-1 agonist and you have insulin resistance, it's going to make your calories work for you now. And multiple different ways. One is of course, the insulin resistance piece is the most important. But the second thing is that they also prolong our gastric emptying time. And in English, that means that food stays in stomach longer before it is let go of in the intestines.
Is that good or bad?
So it's good in a way that you're full longer, so you get full very fast. And you're not just, you can only eat small portions. The bad part of it is, hence come the side effects. So with the GLP-1, some people feel that, okay, there's some bloating, you can feel a bit nauseous, you have some acid reflux, and that is tied
So
to
more of
this.
intestinal, stomach
reactions, yes. And then, but having said that, when you can't eat much, obviously you're going to lose weight as well.
So so this started out, these class of medicine started out for diabetes?
Yes. So in fact, I was a resident in 2006.
Upstate New York.
Yes, upstate New York. And I have written back in the day, people are concerned that, okay, these are so new, we don't know. But we do know. We have at least about, I would say, 20 years worth of data, because a drug called Byetta or exenatide, back in the day when I was a resident, so we used to treat diabetics with Byetta injections. And since then, after that, then liraglutide or Victoza, the next one being semaglutide or Ozempic and Wegovy. So Wegovy or Ozempic was the first one which became FDA approved for weight loss in non-diabetics.
Oh, but yeah, because I see all these different names, and I'm
Yes.
like, how does one figure out the difference? And obviously, you want
Yes.
to be watched and monitored by a medical
It's
professional.
important, yes.
But it's so. Do you see that people? I mean, it's everywhere, and everybody seems to be utilizing it in one way, shape, or form. Do you think that there's enough supervisions? I'm sorry.
There is data or supervision?
No, I just mean, do you think that it's because like when something becomes so popular and everybody wants to, like now I see companies that you can go online and order. I mean, do you see some issues going
There's
on?
definitely,
It's kind of like
concerning.
AI, right?
Yes.
You know, like where are we going?
Yes. I mean, the good thing is that I feel as a society, we are headed in the right direction.
Okay.
But with that, there will be some unscrupulous ways of obtaining it, which is something as consumers, as customers, we all should be careful about.
Yeah.
So obtaining it from the black market or the dark gray market.
Well, everybody's
that-
going to try
that
to
is
make some
scary.
money off,
Yes.
right?
So that I wouldn't, and it scares me, and I really hope and trust that people and consumers will become more mindful where these medications are coming from, because we should not treat our bodies as guinea pigs.
Because
or
it is
lab-
medication, right?
It
We're
is
not talking about
medication,
you're
yes.
taking a multivitamin here.
Yeah, no. If you're injecting something in your body, you better be very, very, very sure where is this coming from and exactly what ingredients are in this medication that I'm injecting in my body, because there are implications down the road. So yes, but if you get it from a doctor's practice or from a pharmacy, at least you know it's the medication
coming
safe, where
from.
it's coming
Like
from,
any-
what's in it. Because even sometimes I do believe that if even compounded versions of it, if they are coming from a trusted
Yeah,
source.
what's that?
Yeah.
Just we only have like 2 minutes left.
Okay.
Compounding, like
Yes.
what is that?
So usually a drug is compounded when it is either in short supply, or if
Oh.
we need to figure out a unique dosage of it, which does not come available from a manufacturer. Let's suppose very quickly touching upon microdosing. If I want to microdose, which means that somebody just has insulin resistance, but not a whole lot of weight to lose.
Oh.
And we wanted to give a lower than recommended for obesity dosage to a patient, then we want something that can be compounded, so I can, as a provider, as a physician, decide what smaller dose I want to give to obtain an outcome.
So it's like a specialty,
but-
special order.
Special order essentially, but somebody could be compounding in their basement, and that's what we need to be careful about, because you have to make sure it's a 503A or B pharmacy, and you have to make sure that there is a supervising physician who is involved in the whole process. So when you get it from some internet or Amazon or God knows what source,
It's everywhere.
It's concerning, for sure, because you just don't know what you're injecting. You don't know who's monitoring. All is well while it is well, and when it is not, then what do you do?
Then you're in trouble because you
Yes.
can't go back.
Yeah.
All right. Question for you.
Yes.
You got all of these wonderful medical, what did you call it? A medical
Medical spas?
medical spa.
Yes.
Multiple locations. You are truly an entrepreneur. You're an MD. You're a mom. You're a wife. You have so many different things going on. But using your term of shattering the glass, I know that's not going to be enough for you because I've seen you. What's next for Dr. Rosy?
I don't know for sure, but the next, I think, chapter in my professional evolution, what I see is I want to create a space, whether that is through Neem or through just public speaking or through podcasting or whichever avenue it might turn out to be. But I do see my, I guess, ikigai, and that will be to give women and men a space where they do not feel that it is shameful to want to feel confident, that living and feeling unstoppable and wanting to look your best is not something that is thought about as vanity. And it is the way that you feel proud and feel a sense of self-worth if you want to feel and look unstoppable and unbelievable. Because I have people saying that, oh, I want to look like me, which I understand, but I can sense the guilt they have underneath all of this for just wanting to look good. And
Just for
it's
simple
just
wanting.
simple wanting to look amazing. It's almost as if they feel guilty for that desire, that it somehow makes them more superficial or vain. And I want to be that voice that you are allowed. It is okay to, and there's nothing shameful in wanting to feel your best.
I love it. I love it.
So I would feel that I want to be that source, and Neem will be that platform where we will empower
Love
women
it.
and
I
men to
love
be
it.
there, to be
To be the
unstoppable.
best. Yeah. And I think that, essentially it's a wellness center.
Yes.
It's
It's a wellness center.
body, mind,
Yes.
and spirit. And you have the professional background to be able to orchestrate it. But what really struck me today, in addition to how amazing you are, is Sheila's statement, for lack of a better word, of invisibility. And please continue to make an impact. I know you will, and I know you'll never be satisfied's not the word, but I know you'll
Complacent or comfortable.
comfortable. You won't be comfortable, and I really hope that you'll come back on because you have so much to share, and I believe you can make a huge impact on a lot of people outside during this next chapter. So thank you for today. It's been an honor and a pleasure, and wonderful having you.
Thank you, Paul. It's been an honor being here. Thank you.
You.